what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to start off by looking at goalkeepers that have an L15 of 40 or less that you could maybe look at for this weekend. And one of those actually that is worth a mention, just because we picked him up yesterday, is, let me show you. Some of you guys might have already seen the my Twitter post this morning. But yeah, we went and bought Mark Martinez last night as part of our SO5er series. So if you are unfamiliar with that series, we build a team of a maximum budget of £25, £5 maximum budget per position, and we play that team in Capsule 40 every week to try and hit the threshold. And then when that team hits threshold, we give the whole team away to 5 different subscribers on the channel. And then we do the whole thing again, where as a community, we build from scratch another team of 5, and we just keep going until we, every time we hit threshold, we give that team away, which is pretty cool. So effectively every week, we could give away a team worth £25 to subscribers on the channel. So make sure you're sub to the channel if you want to take part in that SO5er series. But we had a bit of an issue because our goalkeeper, Andre Hansen, that all you guys picked, was not playing anymore. We had to sell him. We did sell him last night, and then we sold him for about £4, which left us with £5, but well, £4.80, and then we were able to get Mark Martinez for £4, which was pretty cool. So yeah, pretty decent. Did we sell him? Yeah, we did sell him for £4. Yeah. So we've got him now, and so our SO5er team is actually looking back on track again, I'd say. This is it here. And you guys also voted last night for Liam Henderson to be the captain this game week. So this weekend, this is going to be the SO5er team. This is going to be the team that we are trusting to hit the threshold. And if it hits the threshold, we're going to give all of these players away to 5 different subscribers. Don't forget that we have a public watch list here. So we'll be adding in players into the Cap Cheat Codes watch list. This is a public watch list that everybody can access if you are a Sorare Data Pro member. If you are not a Sorare Data Pro member, then you can be one, and you can actually use my code as well if you're looking to upgrade to Sorare Data. There's the code in the chat. Use Free Tip Scout at the membership page if you're upgrading to Pro. And again, if you like Vaesen as a goalkeeper, then this is probably a good time to be picking him up. He's not one for this weekend. They do have a little bit of a injury crisis we discovered yesterday at Warwick, because Vaesen has been injured for a while now, and then the goalkeeper that's coming to replace him has also picked up an injury. So it looks like they might have to be playing their 3rd choice goalkeeper this weekend. Vaesen's not a cheat code this weekend. He's not really a cheat code in general in the cap mode like Cap 220. However, he is very good for Cap 240 because his AA is usually very high, which means that he can often give you this score of around mid-50s, potentially higher, much higher, if he then keeps a clean sheet as well. So don't look at him for this weekend, but do think about him over the next kind of month or so, because it's probably going to be a few weeks until he's back. But at the moment, he's £8.76. His price is absolutely going to increase when managers start to realize that he is coming back. And certainly when he does return, his price will. Anthony Morris 100% is a cheat code. Is he realistically a cheat code this weekend? I don't think so. Hello also to Raul. Hello to Ligma as well. How you guys doing? Anthony Morris is a cheat code in general. I don't think he's a cheat code for this weekend. He's a top goalkeeper playing for a top team. He's also the starter for the Luxembourg team. So you get a lot of good utility from him. Look at that. There's 1,111. So all the ones. That's how many cards there are in the game for him, which is a lot, really. But yeah, he's not really been scoring that great. This is not the fixture where he's going to score great. But if you are in need of a starting goalkeeper with an L15 of 39 and you want to invest in a goalkeeper that is just good long term, then Anthony Morris is probably... Look at that. They're not doing good at all. And I don't think they have a good head-to-head. Look. Oh, this could be a big cheat code. Martin Freisel is £6.75 average, £8.32 on the market. He has probably a really good chance to keep a clean sheet here and potentially score well in his AA too. So Martin Freisel, guys, is, I would say, a big cheat code this weekend. If Jonas Lossell is going to be out injured, which I think he is, so we're going to add him in. He's definitely a goalkeeper that you should look at if you are looking to play in Cap 220, Cap 240, and you want to try and pick up a goalkeeper on the cheap. Look, keep in mind that his price is probably going to increase. Look, you can see here that his price has rocketed because lots of managers now realize, look here, his price has shot up today to £10.56. So you can tell that there must be some news that's happened with Jonas Lossell, that maybe Jonas Lossell is going to be out for a little while, and Martin Freisel is going to be getting a run in the team because everyone's now starting to move on him. His price is starting to spike. As I said, I don't rate this guy as a goalkeeper, if I'm honest with you, but he's what looks like now going to be a starting goalkeeper with an L15 of 34. And he's got an incredibly easy opponent this weekend, which means that he should be able to massively outscore that L15 of 34 and potentially give you a score of 60-70. So we absolutely need to talk about this guy. He is a starter. He has been injured for a while, as you can see here, but when he starts, he hits monstrously. He has an AA of 21.4 and his average is 59. He's brilliant. He's really brilliant, this guy. Look. Now, it's actually great that he's come back and he is playing again. It's really good. So he's actually a fantastic cheat code. Schmal replacement, that one starting spot is injured. Lovely. So Schmal's going to be playing then this weekend. He has an away game to Utrecht as well. Big cheat code. You can play him in the cap modes and he's only going to cost you 25 from the cap. He has an L40 of 59 and he can score hundreds. You absolutely must look at this guy. You 100% must look at this guy here. He's so good. He's still only 26 as well. He'll eventually end up moving to a bigger club. He won't stay at 20 for too long. He'll move to a bigger club because there'll be lots of other... Bjorn Meyer's an amazing player. The problem with Bjorn Meyer is that he is not a regular starter at the moment. He has started the last 2 games, which is good. He had a bit of time out with an injury as well. He's fantastic though. You have to say that Bjorn Meyer does need to be considered a cheat code because he can hit some really big scores and he's only costing at the moment an L15 of 33. So that alone makes him a cheat code. I actually won his rare card. He's probably the best rare card that I ever won on Sorare. And I ended up selling him for about £300, which I'm really happy I done that. I actually wanted to keep him. This was the horrible thing about Sorare about a year ago, and technically today still. When you win a really good player like that, like there was a part of me that was saying I really want to keep him because he's a player that I would love to like build around for the future. But because I knew that the price was going to go down for him, I didn't want to not sell a player for £350 or £300 because I knew that if I didn't sell him then, I wouldn't be able to sell him again for £300. So I ended up selling him when I actually really wanted to keep him. And you can see now that his price is £87. So I'm actually really happy that I sold him. But, you know, because I can go back on him now and get him for cheaper. But that's almost the really sad thing about Sorare is that sometimes managers are thinking, well, I want that player, I want to hold on to them, but I don't want to lose the opportunity to sell them for decent profit. If you don't sell them, it's unlikely that you're ever going to get that opportunity to sell them again for that price point, that value. And they need to fix that, Sorare. We always talk about it, but it would be lovely if we could believe that this player can go back up to say 300, 400 pounds, but I can't see it at the moment in the game economy. The current, I have to bring it up again, right? Look at this here. Ah, his price has gone up now, look. See, I told you guys it was worth picking up his rare. This guy's rare was 59p a few days ago, and I wanted to buy both of the cards because there were 2 cards at 59p, right? I've already got him. I already own him in limited and rare, right? A 59p rare card when his limited was also 59p. You have to buy him. You have to buy a rare card at 59p when his limited is exactly the same price, right? And I couldn't do it because the sellers were not accepting cash. The sellers were only accepting ether. Now it looks like, look here. So Alphon, Bull Thunder, even this here, Miracuson, these guys have the right idea. They absolutely had the right idea. You have to buy rare players when they're at 59p because, as Boji says, the only way is up. They cannot go any lower than 59p. And if they end up retiring or, you know, not playing, you've only spent 59p on a rare player. That rare player can potentially return you $50 in the threshold. And that's the state of rares right now, that like even £1.20 for this guy is still really, really cheap. But 59p was ridiculous. And I'm so annoyed because I would have just bought both of those 59p cards immediately. I mean, you guys saw me. I wanted to do it live on the stream last week, but we... Who else we got here? Henrik Dalsgaard is a cheat code. Henrik Dalsgaard is a cheat code here. Dalsgaard can hit a big score against his opponent. So you could stack up Dalsgaard with Martin Freisel, the goalkeeper that's going to be stepping in for Jonas Lossell. And then you have Dalsgaard and Freisel that could both together score really well this weekend. He's only 45p, Dalsgaard. Can you believe that? He has some really good scoring to him as well. Look, he's only 45p. Unbelievable. Lovren, if Lovren's going to start this game, Lovren technically is a cheat code because he's going, yeah, he probably will. Look, Lovren has Metz at home. Now, Lyon haven't been that good, but you have to say they'd have to really mess it up here against Lyon. Sorry, against Metz, sorry. Look at their form. It's been terrible. It really has been not good. They did lose to Clermont. Clermont are much better this season, but they really need to be beating Metz, and they ideally need to be keeping a clean sheet. I would potentially look at him. We know with Lovren, you know what to expect. Affengruber's excellent. Affengruber is only £1.35. He's not quite been hitting the heights that we know he can, because he can hit some way better scores than that. He's got a tricky game away to Lask this weekend, but he's a good defender that's worth picking up and playing consistently in Cap 220, because eventually he will start to hit these big scores again. He's actually Rasmus Lauritsen is actually a good player. He's not starting enough though. Look, he just started in the last game and he got a score of 62. If he can get more starts under his belt, he could do really well. The problem is he's not starting enough. When he starts, he hits really high. If he starts this weekend, he's got a home game against AGF. This could be an interesting one. We'll add him in so you guys can do some research on him. Oh, look at Zacharian. Zacharian, who joined Real Sociedad, is such a good player. At the moment, he is not even starting. That can't continue all season. He's far too good to just be sitting on the bench for Real Sociedad. So he's actually probably quite a good player to pick up and sit on for the long term. Because then eventually when he does start playing, he has an L15 of 27. And he's just so damn good. It's actually surprising that he went to Real Sociedad. I think if we hadn't have had this Ukraine war, then Chelsea might have been interested in getting him. There was a few clubs in the UK, one of them was Chelsea, that were really interested in this guy. So he chose Real Sociedad, and I don't really think that's the right move for him, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't be surprised if he... There we go. Spank and Link. Yeah. Possibly this guy. You can see, look, that his price is shooting up because everyone is now starting to realize that Howen is injured, Vassen is injured, and it's probably too soon for them to throw Vassen in. So they're going to need to look at Spank and Link, who has an L15 of 0. That's why his price is now shooting up. I think yesterday, look, yesterday he was 59p. He's now shooting up to about £4.75, £2.68. Yeah, he'd be excellent. I mean, technically, we should have probably spoken about him. He'd actually be excellent to maybe look at. Well, not excellent. He's probably good to look at for Cap 220, even though his opponent's really horrible. Because if he does start, he's going to cost nothing, right? So he's a freebie. It then means that you can spread 240 points, or 220, sorry, across our remaining 4 players. So we'll add him in. I just don't think he's going to score that great. But the great thing with a player that costs 0 is that even if they have a really hard game, how can he not outscore it? He can't. All he can do is at least equal his L15 of 0. So even if he has a shocker, you've still played him for free, and he actually hasn't really cost you. But of course, when he starts, he's going to give you 35 points, and that's a huge overperformance as well. So for example, Højlund, right? Højlund's come up here. He's actually looked really lively, Højlund, for Man United, and he has an away game to Fulham. He's going to score. Højlund is going to score against Fulham, and he's going to deliver a score of 60 points, maybe even 70 points, and he has an L15 of 40. So he's the classic example here of a big cheat code this weekend. There's no way Fulham keep a clean sheet. I actually am expecting Man United to score 2 goals against Fulham, at least 2 goals, if not more. And I'm pretty sure Højlund will get involved in at least one of them. And his general AA's been okay as well recently. Look, 6.4. Sure, he conceded a penalty, but the AA of 6.4 is what I'm more interested in here. 6.7, 6.1. 11. He'll do well in this game. Mark my words, he will do well. You heard it here. What's going on with Magri here? Because Magri's actually decent. Why on earth is this guy not starting as much anymore? He's probably the perfect Cap 220 player. Because even when he doesn't start and he comes off the bench, he can still give you a score of 60. Realistically, though, he should be starting a lot more, in my opinion. He's actually really good. He's got a good game as well against Le Havre. I'm going to add him in because he is actually a good cheat code. Just the problem with him is that you're unlikely to get a start from him. So then you're then relying on him coming off the bench and giving you a score like this of 65. We've added in a load of players there, guys. In total, there's 328 players that you can sift through. So even the players that we didn't add in today, there's a ton of players in here that you can consider to help you play the cap modes more efficiently this weekend and to put together cheaper teams with lower L15s and higher outperforming players in that team to outscore their caps and give you some fantastic rewards in 220, 240 and 270. So I hope you guys enjoy the cheat codes stream that we do. And are you guys using this watch list at all? Let me know in the chat, please, if you're using it. Have you found any good players from it that have then helped you to a reward? When are we expected to get the rivals in the game, guys? When is this is another thing that honestly kind of winds me up a little bit about Sorare, is that they kind of release something. They say, we're going to do something really big, and this thing is the rivals. And then you hear nothing. There's like a big silence. They don't fill the void. So they'll say, hey, we're going to do this, and this is coming, and it's going to be really amazing. And you're like, okay, wow, this could be quite cool. I'm excited to hear about it. And then basically you don't hear anything then. It's just pure silence, right? And then you're like, well, what's going on? You know, like, they're not even building up the rivals, really. They're not building a buzz for it. They're not giving any sneak peeks about what it could potentially do. They don't do a good job, Sorare, of building hype and building buzz and keeping the positivity going in the game. When they go missing, which is what it feels like to me, where they go missing, when they're not talking about their game and what they're doing with it, what it means is that people start to switch off, and managers then start to get this fear, uncertainty, and doubt that creeps in. And then people just start to get disengaged, and they start to become a bit more negative because they don't know what's going on. They just feel like they're left in the lurch and they're left in the dark, and Sorare aren't doing a good enough job to kind of, you know, keep the community engaged and excited about things, right? We should all be getting really excited about rivals, but we're not getting any little tidbits that they can give us to keep us excited. There's just this big silence in the game. So I think they need to address that as well to make the game, to make users stay in the game and stay